This is the deep dive. Today, we're cutting through all the noise around a surprisingly tricky travel problem: how to book the exact accommodation you need. Our mission is to basically turn what can be a logistical headache into something that's, effortless. If you've ever tried to plan a big family vacation or maybe manage travel for a corporate team on a longer trip, you know the real challenge isn't just about price, it's about the configuration. So today we are diving deep into how you can lock down those non-standard setups, specifically connecting rooms. We're using the Harbor Grand Hong Kong as our case study. We've got all the sources here on hotel inventory, on booking policies, and we're going to show you the exact steps to guarantee you get that layout. Because, it's the difference between a great trip and a total disaster. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and the core takeaway for you, the listener, is this. For any kind of complex stay, whether it's keeping the family close or having a secure setup for a corporate team, that little special request box online, it's almost never enough.
So you're saying it's basically a wish list?
Exactly. This deep dive is about minimizing that risk, of logistical failure. It's about maximizing comfort by teaching you how to communicate what you need strategically.
Right. And we're going beyond just a weekend trip. We're talking about higher stakes bookings where the comfort and the logistics, they become so much more critical the longer you stay somewhere like a demanding city like Hong Kong. Okay, so before we even get into the strategy of how to book, we need to make sure we're all speaking the same language, the hotel's language. Our sources point to this huge area of confusion that can really ruin a trip at check-in. What are we actually asking for?
This is probably the single most important point. You have to know the difference between an adjoining room and a true connecting room.
Okay.
Getting this wrong is, it is the #1 source of family booking nightmares.
So what is it? What's the difference?
Adjoining rooms are just side by side. They share a wall, sure. But to get from one to the other,
You have to go out into the main hallway?
you have to go out into the public hallway. For a business team, that might be fine. But for a family with young kids, every single time you need to check on them, someone's doing the hallway dash in their pajamas.
Right, and fumbling with a key card in the middle of the night. You're waking people up.
And maybe dealing with security issues, too, if a kid wanders out.
Yeah.
Precisely. The goal, what you always want for families, or for any group that needs that easy access, is connecting rooms. These are 2 rooms linked by a private internal door, a lockable door. So you get the privacy of 2 separate rooms, but with immediate access.
So you get supervision, you get security, and you're not disturbing the entire floor.
Exactly. It's for sharing a bathroom, coordinating luggage, just keeping an eye on things.
Okay, so when you're looking at a place like the Harbor Grand Hong Kong, they sometimes offer a specific family room. Is that a better bet, or is the connecting room setup still the way to go?
It's a great question. And while those dedicated family rooms exist, our analysis shows that most of the time, booking 2 connecting rooms gives you way more flexibility.
And more space, I'd imagine.
So much more space. You get 2 full bathrooms, which is huge,
Yeah.
2 separate sleeping areas, and basically double the floor space for luggage, for relaxing, for, not tripping over each other.
That extra space is absolutely critical, especially on a longer stay where you're accumulating things or maybe one person needs to do some work.
Absolutely. You have to remember, this is all about maximizing your actual livable space. When you're somewhere like Hong Kong, space is the ultimate luxury.
Yeah.
Getting that extra square footage is vital for just keeping everyone sane after a few days.
All right, this is where it gets really strategic. We know what we want, connecting rooms. But they're a limited resource. They are not guaranteed on the big online travel sites. So how do you actually secure them? How do you jump the queue?
The secret, and it feels like you said almost old school, is that you have to contact the hotel directly.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
You have to bypass that purely digital system. That is the central lesson here.
So let's break that down. Why does the online system fail you on this?
Okay, so think of it like this. Connecting rooms are specialized inventory. Most big hotels, and this includes places like Harbor Grand, their online system, the one that feeds the big travel websites, it's set up for standard rooms only.
Just single, unlinked rooms.
Exactly. The connecting rooms are often held back or blocked in their internal system because they require a manual assignment. Room 1405 has to be sold with 1406. An algorithm can't really guarantee that without a human stepping in.
So when I check that box that says request connecting room on a website, what am I actually doing?
You are essentially sending a hopeful sticky note to the front desk.
Great.
It's just a request. And the hotel will look at it after they've dealt with all the guaranteed bookings. You're leaving it entirely to chance.
But if I call the hotel's reservation team directly,
Now you're talking to a person who can actually look at the physical room map. They can see the inventory in real time, find the configuration you need, and then manually assign and lock down those two specific room numbers for your booking.
okay, so that brings up this idea of leverage. Why does booking directly give you, the listener, that kind of power?
The leverage comes from the fact that the hotel sees the full value of your booking right away. When you book 2 rooms, especially for a longer stay, they see a high-value, multi-room
Oh,
reservation.
just a one-night stand, so to speak.
Exactly. And they're far more willing to spend 5 minutes manually linking those doors for a guest who's booking directly, because they're not paying a commission to a third party. They're going to prioritize the direct bookings, especially the complex ones.
That makes a lot of business sense. But the sources recommend booking, what, 4 to 6 months out for peak season? That seems really cautious. Can't a huge hotel handle this closer to the date?
It's a fair point, but you have to understand the inventory. Connecting rooms often make up less than 10% of a hotel's total rooms.
Only 10%.
Sometimes less. So during a high-demand time, like Chinese New Year in Hong Kong, that tiny slice of inventory goes first. If your trip depends on those rooms being linked, you have to lock them down. The phone call guarantees the logistics. Saving a few bucks on a website means nothing if your kids end up 3 floors away.
So you really need to plan ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk timeline. For peak season, that's Christmas, Chinese New Year, summer holidays, you need to be booking and confirming that setup 4 to 6 months out.
Yeah.
No question.
Okay.
For shoulder season, so spring or autumn, you can probably get away with 2 to 3 months. And even in off-peak, I'd still say plan for 1 to 2 months in advance. You have to treat them like first-class seats on a plane. They're limited, they're valuable, and they sell out.
Let's make this super practical. Give us the script. When I call the Harbor Grand Hong Kong, who do I ask for and what exactly do I say?
First, don't just talk to the front desk. Ask for the reservations manager or his senior reservations agent.
Got it.
Then you state your need very clearly. I need to book 2, guaranteed, internally connecting rooms for these dates. Use that specific language, not adjoining, but connecting. Then specify the rooms if you can, for instance, a standard room connecting to a harbor view room. And finally, you have to insist on the confirmation protocol. Once they say it's done, you tell them you need it in writing.
Right, the paper trail. Peace of mind requires documentation. What does that email absolutely have to say?
It needs 3 things. 1, the confirmation number, of course. 2, the explicit phrase, guaranteed connecting rooms, not request noted. It has to say guaranteed.
That's the key word.
That's the magic word. And 3rd, it must list the specific room numbers that have been assigned to you, like rooms 1405 and 1406, and confirm the room types and the price are all correct. That email is your insurance policy.
Okay, so securing the rooms is the big hurdle, and now we've solved it. So step 2 is making the most of the actual stay. How do you leverage the hotel itself and its location to make an extended trip in a place like Hong Kong go smoothly?
This is where it gets really interesting because you see how a hotel like this is designed to counteract the pressures of being in such a dense city. It's built for longer stays.
And it starts with getting around.
It starts with local access. The location is on the harbor in North Point, which is great. But the crucial part is it has direct access to the MTR, the subway system.
Right, from inside the hotel.
A seamless, climate-controlled link. For an extended stay, that is a non-negotiable convenience. You don't want to be hailing taxis in the heat every single day. Using that MTR link just saves so much time and stress.
A huge detail. Okay, what about the day-to-day grind of feeding a whole family or a team for a week?
The sheer dining variety inside the hotel is designed for exactly that. You're not just looking for one breakfast spot. They have the huge international buffet, which is great for picky eaters, but also, high-end Japanese restaurant.
So you're not eating the same thing every day.
Exactly. It prevents that menu burnout you get on day 5. And for business travelers, having those fine dining options on site is a huge time saver.
And what about the other services? The things that make a hotel feel less like a hotel and more like a home base?
Well, look deeper. They have comprehensive laundry services. That's what really transitions a hotel stay into a true serviced living situation. Minimizing trips to a laundromat is a massive win on a long trip.
And the pool, I assume?
The pool is great for kids, obviously, but it's also a critical decompression zone. You're away from the intensity of the city. You've got this huge open view of the harbor.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you can actually breathe.
So it all connects. We started with the micro detail of booking the room, and we've ended up with how the macro environment of the hotel, the MTR link, the dining, the pool, it all works together to support the kind of extended stay you work so hard to book.
Right. The whole experience is elevated because the facilities are designed for people who are setting up a temporary base, not just passing through for a night.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've confirmed that booking something specific like connecting rooms, it's absolutely doable. But you have to get off the website, you have to bypass the automated system. It means planning ahead, picking up the phone, and getting everything documented. It's the difference between sending a vague wish to an algorithm and demanding a specific solution from a human being.
And if we zoom out to the bigger picture, this lesson goes way beyond just this one hotel or even just family travel.
Right.
It applies to any complex need. Accessibility requirements, high security room blocks for a corporate team. The fact that securing this kind of limited, crucial inventory still depends on a direct phone call. Even now, it shows you something important. Algorithms are great for simple transactions, but humans are still required for complex, high-stakes logistics.
So here's the final thought for you, the listener.
Consider this. What other critical travel details are you leaving to an algorithm? It's not just rooms. It could be specialized seating on a flight, a spot on a tour with limited capacity, or some other customized feature for an extended stay. Where are you just hoping for the best when a 5-minute conversation with an expert, with a human, could guarantee you get the perfect outcome? Where is the real limit of that click-to-book simplicity? And when does trusting that little comment box just become a recipe for a completely preventable disappointment? That's the question to ask yourself before your next big booking.